Hi, and welcome to the Senior Network. I'm your host, Greg Fulton. We are actually here today in hospice care of the Low Country, as you can see, and welcomed by Charlie Tyler, spiritual coordinator, correct?
I am.
Glad to have you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And my buddy Bob Scudda with I-Corps. Good to see you
Nice
again.
to see you, Greg.
Well, tell us a little bit, since we're sitting here in your home today, about your role, because you're fairly new, I think, with this organization.
I am. I've only been with them for about 2 or 3 months now.
Okay.
It's been a great experience so far. My role primarily is to be able to meet some of the spiritual needs of our families, patients and families. One of the things that I'm finding, and I've been in hospice for about 4 years now,
Right.
new to this organization, but one of the things that I continue to find is the uncertainty and confusion, perhaps, that many of our families have and patients have about what my role is in their lives. Many folks believe that, or are concerned, and I understand this concern, that my task or my role is to try and persuade them to become something or to change from something to another thing. And that couldn't be further from the truth. My task is to meet them where they are in their own spiritual journey, to build a safe, non-judgmental space for them to talk
Right.
about their spiritual thoughts and spiritual lives, and their concerns, and sometimes their doubts, and just to give them a space to be able to express themselves.
And I can imagine that there could be challenges with that, with there's so many different spiritual beliefs, correct?
There
I mean,
there
you
are
deal with that, yeah.
there are, and what I do try and do is also assist if they have a strong commitment to a faith base. Is to assist their priest or their minister, their rabbi, or should they have an imam, to be able to come alongside them and to support them and to never try and be in their way and build them up as best we can. And the best case scenario is when we can collaborate together on the spiritual journey of the patients that we take care of.
Fascinating. Well, you know, it makes me really have to ask the question, what's your background?
My background is long and varied.
Sure.
My theological training is in the Presbyterian Church. I'm a member of the United Church of Christ now.
Sure.
And spend some time there. There's a little church in Savannah that I'm a part of. They're very kind and generous to me. First Congregational Church in Savannah. But that's my background, but it gives me a broad basis to talk about people's spiritual lives. And again, to be able to help them walk through their fears and their concerns and their uncertainties about what life can look like and how they may be able to face the day.
Understandable. Well, we're excited to have you here in the
Thank
community.
you.
We really are.
It's good to be
Hospice
here.
is very important to all of us that are in the healthcare field. And Bob, I know you and I, we've had you on the show before, and we talked a little bit about, but just kind of for the audience that may not have seen that segment,
Sure.
tell us a little bit about what I-Corps is and what that means.
As I-Corps, we term ourselves as professional advocates and life care managers, basically concierge life care managers. And it's sort of a mouthful, but what that means is we're independent and we're a source for seniors and people with disabilities or adults with disabilities or even children with disabilities that you can come to us and we'll direct you in the best manner possible for your wellness and lifestyle goals. We don't provide specifically a lot of services, but it's frequently we'll suggest and we'll give advice to people where they should through vetted sources. So a lot of the people that we come in contact with, especially in the long-term care or seniors, really have a lot thrown at them at a time in their life when there's just a lot of different challenges for them, health-wise, procedural-wise, medically, legally, financially, and we're a source we can provide vetted sources for them and point them in the right direction objectively of where they can go and get some help. So we'll always refer 2 or 3 different referrals for whether it's a home care company or a hospice company, and then we'll follow up with that and coordinate that care. A lot of times, in a lot of healthcare and a lot of industries, there's really, really, really good people doing a lot of really important and dedicated work, but they're focused on doing what they're doing, and that's why they're so good. They're sort of swimming in their lanes, more or less.
Right.
We sort of look from above that and can sort of coordinate all the different moving pieces together so it's more of a cohesive and a more well put together program for the people that are challenged by illness or disability or aging.
Sure, and your services are so important to people like us in home care, and I'm sure hospice too, because there's a lot of family members are not around. We all know that these days, that the
Yeah.
closest child, I think, is what, 280 miles away, I think is the average now from a senior.
That's true.
So getting you folks involved early on to help as the process goes is very important.
Right. When we become involved, a lot of times we'll do an initial assessment or evaluation of somebody from a medical standpoint. We have nurses that are our employees, and they're RNs with at least 10 years experience. They're called our nurse advocates. So we'll start medically and do an analysis and an assessment of them, where they are medically. I focus more on the procedural legal side. I'm not an attorney or a financial advisor, but I know when somebody may need some help in that direction. And as you mentioned, Greg, a lot of people are here without family.
Sure.
Or don't have family, or sometimes they have family and they want an independent source for various reasons, and we can serve as power of attorney or successor power of attorneys for those families on that sort of procedural legal side. But also our nurses can be the person that's in the middle and keeps everybody together when there is a crisis or as an illness progresses. So for example, if we're working with a couple or a person that has medical issues and our nurse is keeping in touch with them on a regular basis and they go to the hospital, even though there's great care delivered at a hospital, a lot of times their primary physician isn't with them. It's a hospitalist. So when our nurse is there, there's a continuity because she knows that person, she knows the medical history, she knows the allergies, the likes, dislikes, and she knows who to contact. She knows who to contact in the family. So it gives a real peace of mind to some of our families when our nurse is involved on a continual basis.
Well, hold that thought.
Okay.
Great information. We're going to need to take a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.